Welcome everybody to Peaches and Power Bombs. My name is Tina Miller and this is Sarah Hirsch, and we are back. And we're gonna have some fun tonight. You ready, Sarah?
I am. If you can tell, I've got to sit up a little bit. How it started with the Hounds of Justice versus how it's going with Tina to the head of the table.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We are going to talk about our tribal chief, the head of the table, the man that makes it happen for us.
Yep.
Roman Reigns.
We acknowledge you.
We acknowledge you, honey. We do.
Oh man, so I think it's safe to say that Roman Reigns has been one of the few and only interesting things to going on WWE programming right now. The best, definitely the best.
How the tables have turned. People used to hate it when Roman was on TV, and now he's the most compelling. He's in part one of the most compelling stories.
Yeah.
Throughout WWE, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, we love NXT.
Yeah.
But he is definitely the highlight of SmackDown, and yes. I actually go out of my way on Fridays to watch him sometimes if I have the time.
Yep. Monday Night Raw is almost hard to watch right now. There's a few little things that is captivating. We talked about RK Bro and stuff like that, but Roman Reigns, there's so much going on right there, and they're telling such an interesting story, and it just keeps you wondering what's going to happen next. And I think that's lost on all of the other shows almost. Even NXT, I'm not like, what's going to happen next? I'm just enjoying it,
Right, so. And it gives me that feeling of back in the day when Raw had so much good stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it ends, and you're just like, I want to know what happened next. What does so and so do?
Yeah. Is it Monday yet?
Right. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm ready for Friday because I need to see what's going on with Roman and the Usos, and and I haven't felt like that in a very long time. And
no.
I love that WWE just pulled the trigger on Roman.
Me too.
And I say it's better late than never in his case.
Right.
But I think Roman is a Gemini. And we're in Gemini. Well, we are in Cancer season now. We were in Gemini season. But he has this aura about him. Geminis tend to be a little cocky. I think borderline conceited. And my brother is a Gemini as well. And the things he says and the things Roman says when you listen to an interview, I'm like, duh, they're Geminis, they're so similar. And I'm like, yeah, that's a Gemini trait. But we all know Roman's confident, and he's very assertive. And I think that reflects in this new character. He's allowed to be himself more, I think.
Right.
With more, obviously he's the bad guy, but he throw, his mannerisms, like I know he's done that.
Yeah. Especially his little what I call treadmill talks that he does that he'll post up on social media. So you could tell that is him 100%, maybe dialed up, but it's him.
Yeah.
Like, sit down, I might have mentioned this before, but my husband's best friend from high school went to Georgia Tech, and he was the equipment manager for the Georgia Tech football team at the same time that Roman was there. So he knows him pretty well. And when I tell him about, yeah, he's got this new character and he's doing this or that, he's like, that's Joe. That's Joe. So yeah, he's being himself a whole lot, and it looks like he's really enjoying himself too, a whole lot more than he used to. And
Yeah.
I'm just happy for him that he has that opportunity to just blossom and just show who he really is.
And and I think you can't evolve unless you take risks like that. And it was
Right.
very long overdue. And no, I've been a Roman stan since day one, obviously.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I focused on when I first started writing, was like, people weren't looking beneath the surface. Like,
Right.
something great's there. You just have to look beneath the surface, especially when they started having them be more aggressive sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that's where they need to go. Roman's, a funny guy in a sense. And, but with the way he was presented, like with the Shield, he didn't really say a whole lot. Less was more in his case. And then they kind of let him go solo, and they were trying to have him tell jokes and laugh and blah, blah, blah. And it just wasn't working. Not that it was his fault, because it wasn't. Yeah. I went to Survivor Series when he won his first WWE championship. And of course, like 5 minutes later, Sheamus came in and cashed in.
Oh, you were there.
Yes.
I was supposed to be there, but all of that stuff happened. So my husband didn't feel comfortable letting me go. But and that's okay. Just things happen.
If you don't remember, that was when the whole ISIS bombing happened in Paris, and they were targeting Atlanta. And my nephew was supposed to go with me, and because it was Undertaker's 25th anniversary.
Yep. That's why I was going to go, because I had never seen the Undertaker in person before.
Alex too, and it was beyond my control.
Yeah, and things just happened.
And I think that was his first taste of reality, that something could really happen, because he was young at the time. I think he was 7, and he knew about the bombings in Paris, and he said they talked about it at school. So of course, when we sat him down to tell him, I'm crying, and we were explaining what happens, and and it sucked. But the show, but when I went to the show, I did not feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel unsafe. Everybody was on point. But yeah, Roman won his first WWE championship at Survivor Series 2015. Only to be cashed in on by Sheamus, who had the Money in the Bank contract at the time.
Right.
And I tell you what, I remember him in the first match, and Lord, I can't remember who he faced in the first match. It would come to me later, but I know him and Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, was in the finals, and boy, they didn't even wait for the bell to ring, because they, a vacant WWE championship, it was theirs for the taking, and I remember it being very good. And maybe Atlanta's biased, but he didn't get near the hate in Atlanta like he did anywhere else, because Georgia Tech.
He went to school here, so he's going to get some love.
Right. So it wasn't as bad. But when Sheamus cashed in, all those guys acted like it was the second coming of Jesus. And I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness. I bet.
I'm like,
I bet.
really? And, I was about to go off, and I was like, you need to get out of here before they put you in jail. They don't need you acting a fool.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't really a Roman Reigns fan until probably about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I didn't hate him, like, ew, Roman Reigns type stuff. I was just more on the indifferent side.
Right.
So I just kind of like, I can take him or I can leave him, because he just didn't have that compelling. You didn't see that compelling side of him at that time. I thought he was a good wrestler. I never thought that he was a bad wrestler. And people who say, "Oh, he can't wrestle, he only does this or that," I'm like, you don't know wrestling if you think that Roman is a bad wrestler.
Look, it's still real to them, okay? Yeah.
Well, he's supposed to do 500 different flips, and
yeah,
he's supposed to be an acrobat out there, I guess.
Yeah. Where I was getting at with the WWE Championship, how I would have booked it the next day, I would have had him, coming down the ramp and have him just tearing stuff up left and right, because, this is something that he worked for. I mean, he failed previously with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and I would have had him coming down the steps and just tear everything apart, just like, he was robbed, and they had him out there laughing, and I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? I would have had a guy like
Roman. They were doing that, "Oh, shucks, I lost. Oh, well, I'm still happy and gonna stay on the positive side. Woohoo."
Yes. And they kind of made up for it when he won the championship on his daughter's birthday. I love that.
That's cute.
Because they mentioned his daughter, and I loved it, because a lot of people were, when he mentioned Joelle, everybody was like, yeah, win for her, and that worked. And it went right back to the same thing, because WWE went back to the same thing. And
Yep.
I feel like a lot of times they unintentionally sabotage Roman, especially his rise, and the laughing, the jokes. The one joke he did with the Big Show, it did not go good. You could tell he was out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And he was trying to do what he was told. And that's not his fault, but boy, people did not let that go for a while. And but yeah, just to see how he's grown over the last.
Was that the Suffer and Succotash thing, or was that something else? Okay. Yeah, everybody talks about that even today. And I'm like, but that's not what he's doing now. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
And that's not his fault.
No. But yeah, just thinking of how he was at first, the less is more approach, and then he had funny, stupid quotes that poor Vince had the poor guy do. And then now the most compelling person in pro wrestling, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. And this is not just because I stand Roman, it's because I know the work he has put in. I know, for me, I saw the trials, the tribulations, the failures, the starts, the stops. And I wish I had a platform and the passion to write on him like I did when I first started, because like if it clicked, I'd have been like, I told y'all so. And I'm gonna link you to this blog that I wrote, and then I'm gonna link you to this blog that I
Right.
wrote.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I have like so much. I feel like this proud. I don't want to say mama, but this proud. I'm so proud of him. Like
Mm-hmm.
y'all doubted this guy. Y'all gave
Yeah.
this guy a lot of flack,
Yeah.
even though he was putting in the work and stuff. Now look at him. Like, look at him. I mean, he
Right.
is unstoppable. I
Yeah.
love
It's
it.
gonna. I don't know what it's going to take, and I have a feeling he's gonna have that title for a while, at least till next year at WrestleMania.
Yes,
And I
and
have no idea who it's gonna be.
he just passed 300 days as champion. Time flies when you're having fun, and I
Yep.
think I think they're having a lot of fun. And Roman's heel turn has benefited like mainly Jey Uso, and
Right.
Jimmy is right in the midst of it right now. But
Yep.
I love that they made a star. Not that he wasn't before, because we know we at Peaches and Power Bombs, we love the Usos.
Yes, we do.
And his Jey and Roman, their story last year showed that these guys are seasoned. They know how this stuff works.
Right.
And because the Anawai family, they've been in wrestling forever.
Yeah.
So they were born and bred into this business, and
Yep.
they took something like Jey, Jimmy was hurt and Jey needed something to do. They took Jey and created that story with Roman, and they made Jey like I can't even explain it. I'm so like I get so happy and proud,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Yeah.
but
And
that was an amazing storyline. Emotional. It was emotional. It was gut wrenching. I mean, that's what makes legends.
yeah.
And I really think that's going to stand among some of the greatest storylines when it's all said and done.
It's going to. Um and it's not just Roman, because Roman's great, right? But Jey Uso, and I would even say Jimmy too, just from the little bitty bit that we've seen from him since he's come back. They're right up there with
Yeah.
them. They're telling a
And
great story.
yes, all three of them have charisma in their own way,
Mm-hmm.
and it works.
Yeah,
And I don't want to say that they're glowing, but you can tell.
they're glowing. They're glowing. I'll say it.
And yeah, like when they're talking, they're cutting a promo. That's 100% them. I feel that energy. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel they're projecting that vibe, and I feel that. And I'm like, yeah, Jimmy, let's go, Oos. I'm ready. I'm ready with you.
Yeah. I've talked about this before. Right after Roman won the title last year, I wrote something called "We All Owe Roman an Apology," because
Yes,
of
that was a great
all the
blog.
crap that he went through, that people talked about him saying his cancer was fake and garbage.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I know we have, but still, it rubbed me the wrong way, and it made me start looking deeper into these wrestlers and trying to look at the whole perspective of it, and be like, okay, just because the dodo birds on Twitter doesn't like this person doesn't mean that he's not any good.
Right.
I've actually come to the conclusion that most of the people online and most of the, we call the IWC, and I know I'm kind of, we talk to these people and they're our viewers and things like that. So I don't know if I'm overstepping my boundaries, but most of the time they don't know what they're talking about. And I just had to start thinking for myself, what do I like? What do I like? What appeals to me? What is what stands out to me? And I changed my mind on several people, and we won't talk about the other person. But
Please don't.
I won't. I'm not going to.
And he might come up, but
Roman is one of them. And I went back and started looking at some of his older matches. He's never really had a bad match. I mean, there's been times, the storyline might not be good or something, or it just didn't work, but he's had good matches with AJ. He's had good matches with John Cena. He's had good matches with Brock Lesnar. And
his match with Brock Lesnar, I knew we were going to talk about him, but
just a little bit. It's not about him though. Not this time.
No. I went there. I did a lot in 2015. I wish I could again, but I remember I was really in debt from all that too, but the memories are priceless. But anyway, I remember going there, and I went and met him, and I got on my first flight yesterday just to see you win your first championship. He's like, really? But when I was there at Levi Stadium, oh my God, everybody just thought he was going to win. And I don't think I can watch that match without feeling that same tense emotion that I had when I was there. Because people were saying all kinds of stuff. We're going to riot and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just the way people were to him, I was just sitting there like, I just remember being fired up. And all of a sudden, I just went off about how Brock I said, he does 5 moves just like John Cena and blah, blah, blah. And I was spitting all kinds of facts. And all of a sudden, the whole section around me got quiet. They knew I was mad because I was like, y'all got to give this guy a break. I mean, and his match with Brock was not bad. And
Brock is good too when he wants to be. When he likes what he's doing, he's
the story that was being
doing. He's got to
the story that was being told in this match is like in that match was like Roman was like, you keep knocking me down, I'm gonna get back up because I'm tougher than that, and I'm gonna show everybody that I'm capable. And I think that was the message. That was the message that I got. Yeah. In the midst of like all this anxiety and like people were really oh, I'm not gonna watch and we're gonna riot here if he wins. Like, dude, that's not serious. And another thing I want to mention too is I've had people tell me, oh, you like Roman because he's hot.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, he's hot. Sorry, Mina's playing in my candle glasses. Yeah, he's hot. I'm not dead. He's fine. He is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll admit to that. A lot of guys fail to realize as women, we multitask. We can sit there and ogle at them, but we can tell you what's going on in the match. And we can tell you what's going on overall in the storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had people tell me that, oh, you just like him because he's hot. First off, I've been watching since 1995. Second off, the Anoa'i family is my favorite out of let's say the Harts, the Von Erichs, among the great wrestling families that have made a mark in the business. The Rhodes, you know, the Ottawas have made a huge contribution to pro wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
They've always been my favorite because I love the that they bring their culture in. They're different. You know they're different. They bring a whole new attitude.
Yep.
And it was like, so like Head Shrinkers, Rikishi, The Rock. You know, I was always for them. Yeah, they have good genes. Don't get me wrong, because they're so pretty. A lot of them are so pretty. But that's not the only reason why.
No.
Because they're good.
Yes.
Each one of them are good in their own right. And I will debate with anybody. Yeah, Roman's fine. I wish he was my husband, but he's all, you know, he's got it going on. I mean, he's got it going on in the ring, and it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of frustration and rants and but yeah, I mean,
it's not like that they don't do it too, though. I mean, most of the time you ask, they like Alexa Bliss or something, and you're like, why do you like Alexa Bliss? And they want to talk about her backside or something, you know? So it's not like they don't do it too. They just don't want to admit that they do it too.
They, I think they put girls in a different category, I think, and you know, it's such a double standard, and I can't stand it, because I'm like, you know, like back in the day, you know, with Shawn Michaels and, let's say, Shawn Michaels and John Cena, there's Tori and Stacy and all these other girls, and I was like, damn, we can't look too. That's stupid. You know, I mean, we're human too, you know. So but yeah, that was like the one argument the guys love to come with. Oh, you just think he's hot. And
I think that might have been I think that might have been one of the reasons why I was a little quiet on what I was thinking about Roman Reigns at the time. Yeah, I was a little indifferent, but I didn't really hate him, but I didn't talk a whole lot about him. And I would not buy his merchandise at all, or John Cena's or anything like that, because I didn't want anybody thinking, oh. Then I turned 30, and after you turn 30, you quit caring what other people think.
Yes.
It's great. Yes, you're getting older and your body starts breaking down and stuff, but your mind is finally free, and you stop caring, and it's the best feeling in the world. And anybody who's younger than 30, I recommend you go ahead and start thinking like that. Don't wait until it naturally happens. Just go ahead and start thinking like that. Be yourself. It is okay to like Roman Reigns. It's okay to like John Cena. It's okay to like Brock Lesnar too. It's okay to like anybody you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like whoever you want. It's fine. That's what wrestling is all about.
You know, and I think, you know, that not enough people have a smart conversation about wrestling, because there's people that I love talking to about wrestling, and then there's people I loathe talking about wrestling.
Yes.
And I'm just, you know, and I love all my friends dearly. Some of them fall in that category, not all of them, but don't be mad at me. But I think a lot of people that's why I was saying earlier, you have to look beneath the surface, and so many people don't do that, whether they're my friends or your friends or somebody that just started watching or somebody that's been watching for 40 years, you know. You having a good conversation, you're looking at the flaws, you're looking at the bad, you know, you're looking at the bad side, you're looking at the good side. You kind of, you know, a lot of people are so quick to down you. Oh, you like him? Well, you don't know nothing. No, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true at all. And that's why with Roman, it's like I want to gloat so bad because, you know,
Yep.
I
You'll
know,
gloat all you want.
yeah, because like I know I've been through that. Like
Mm-hmm.
people that told me, oh, well, you're not a real wrestling fan because you like him, or oh, you
Yeah.
just like him because he's hot. And
Yep.
oh, God, yeah, seriously.
Really. Taz used to have a radio show, a CBS radio show, and you used to be able to call in and talk to him.
Oh,
And
really?
I actually called in on one of his shows one time and actually talked to him about this, about how girls are treated differently in the wrestling community. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, I don't really see it," but he listened and he was like, you know, this is your experience. I'm a guy, so I haven't seen it, of course, but
Right.
this is your experience, and we're going to talk about this." And I talked about Roman Reigns, and I was like, he's not a bad wrestler, Taz. He's actually pretty good. And, but as a girl, I can't say I like Roman Reigns. I can't say that he's a good wrestler because people will think that, oh, you only like him because he's hot. That's what we get. That is what we get every time we say anything about
Yep.
anyone. And it could even be about like somebody that everybody loves, like Finn Balor. If you talk about Finn
Oh,
Balor,
you
you
just
only
like him
like
because
him
he's hot.
because he has a
Yeah, that's one
because
of
he
the
has a
things
nice rear
about
end or something,
32.
so
That's one of the things about 32. Oh, you like him because he's hot. Okay, hold up. You kind of got to get ready. We're going to break it down for you.
yeah.
Y'all gather around.
Yeah.
Back then, I'd be like, now I'm just, let me go to another show. I had that happen to me in California. I was in Mox's line and I was like, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And the guy said a smart comment. And I didn't say that. I was just like, really? And my best friend spoke up and was like, you come here. We ended up getting along, but we took him to school that day.
Well, good.
And if
They
I
need to
wasn't
go
so
to school.
nervous, I probably would have said something. But at the time, I was just kind of like,
yeah.
But yeah, now I would probably be like, whoa, look, listen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And you know what? So what
you have to
if you
step up.
if you are nervous because they look nice or whatever? I mean, it just happens. It's a natural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, AJ Styles has really pretty eyes.
Yes, he does. Oh my
So
god!
when he when he looked at me for the first time, I was like,
right.
just,
We're from Georgia, and I know Georgia boys has this whole different appeal, and AJ is like the epitome of that. So yeah, I'm in there. Hi.
It happens, and I'm happily married. I'm not really looking like to look, at someone and think about them for a long period of time in my mind or anything like that. It's just that I'm not blind,
Yeah,
so
exactly. You're not blind. You're not dead. And
so it happens. But
mm-hmm.
let's move on just a little bit because we could talk
Yeah.
about this all night long if they let
Oh
us.
God, I know. We'll have to do a live stream one day or something.
We're going to do that soon. We are going to do that soon, especially over there on our Facebook page where we have over 400 fans on our Facebook page now. I think we have about 438 fans as of this recording, and we appreciate you guys coming over. Thank you so much.
We see you. We appreciate you.
Yep.
We definitely appreciate the support, and tell everybody about us.
Yes.
Now,
yes. Keep
if you like us, tell them how awesome we are, or how not awesome we are.
So something weird happened after our recording last time. They decided to move the Universal Championship match in Hell in the Cell to SmackDown instead of actually having it on the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good match. I enjoyed
it
it.
was.
And, you know, Jimmy coming out there at the end was like, ooh, you know, what is this all about? You know, so it's a good story. I'm just wondering why they took it off of the pay-per-view, because that was the only reason why I wanted to watch the pay-per-view to begin with. And I ended up
Right.
just not really watching it and just reading what happened later. I know I'm bad. I'm a bad analyst or whatever, but I don't care. I had no
There was
interest.
different things online as to why. I
Okay.
heard Roman was going on a holiday, and then I heard that, you know, they're trying to up the ratings, but you know, Raw responded with having Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods in a Hell in a Cell the following Monday. But yeah, even though they moved this match to SmackDown and it was great and everything, the show I watched the show and it was not bad. It was actually good. I really enjoyed Bayley and Bianca Belair. That was a good match.
Okay. I have to go back and watch that because I want to be honest. There's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life at that time. I was traveling here and traveling there, and I just didn't really have the time. And if it wasn't something extremely compelling to me, it wasn't.
Right. Yeah, Bianca Belair and Bayley definitely was really good. I'm trying to think. Yeah, none of the matches were terrible. I thought it
Okay.
was
I'll have to check it out.
Rollins and Cesaro, you know, they tore
They
up.
can't have a bad match, I don't think.
No, absolutely not. While I'm thinking about it, because I'm gonna forget to say, I saw something on Facebook yesterday, and someone posted somewhere, and it was like, "Does Reginald and Seth Rollins shop at the same clothing store?"
That's a good one.
Hey, that's YouTube worthy. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Seth Rollins been bringing it though. I mean, it's a little out there, but I don't know. I like his off the wall style now. There's something about it. It works for him.
I think he has Reginald's stylist or something. But yeah, that was really
I
fun.
don't know. Or Reginald has his.
To tell you.
They go shopping together. Can we see that episode?
I know. Some of the stuff I would think it would be YouTube worthy. It just reminds me of
and Bayley trying to pick out clothes for them or something. That would be funny.
Oh God. It reminds me of oh God, what was that show on the network? Right Along.
Yeah.
And they had Roman, Seth, and Dean or Mox.
Oh man. Yeah.
In the same car together. And I was just like, I want to see them do something like, I don't know, like go somewhere together or something. And just not just them, but like other people, and just like, because you know they cut the fool. So, you know, they have a lot of good memories and stuff. So it's like but yeah, Seth and Reginald shopping, I could see that being a segment. Hey Vince, look it.
Yeah, it would be
They're not
funny.
on the same brand, but you never know.
Well, Reginald's hip flip flopped before. He started off on SmackDown with Carmella, so
yeah,
you don't know. It'd be interesting. I would probably watch that skit if they did a shopping trip together.
So, what do you think? I know a couple weeks ago, Jey got frustrated, said he was tired of Roman and Jimmy, and he stormed off. And then he wasn't on SmackDown this week or this past week. Yep. And, you know, and I think Jimmy was saying, you know, I can't remember if he said he wanted out.
He said he wasn't coming back, I think.
He wasn't coming back. Thank you. And now I'm just like, all right, Jey, what are you thinking? I'm ready. I want to know what he has to say. And how is it going to further go into the storyline? What do you think could be? What do you think Jey is it's not up to, well, what's Jey up to? What is he thinking? What is he, because, Jay's in the middle of this storyline because now Roman and Jimmy are at odds and Jay's in the middle, and it's like, Jay's been there before and it did not end well for him. So
no, but the thing is that Jimmy is saying now that he's on Roman's side and saying that he can do what Jey does or did as the right-hand man. So I have this feeling that Jay's going to come back and he's not going to like that very much. Oh, you can just replace me because you're my twin? Because everybody says, and he's mentioned this before, that everybody says, which one are you?
Oh,
and he's like,
yes.
No, you cannot take my spot. That is my spot. You're not my replacement. I'm my own man. And they're probably... And I hate it because I love the Usos as a tag team. But it has to almost for the story, because it seems like that's what is going on. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But it looks like Uso versus Uso type thing going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just what it looked like to me.
Yeah, and then is like, I think too that will shift the focus because now Roman would be in the middle of that, and I think it's just one of those things that's just working out so good, in that you could go either way with it, and it will turn out really good. And then you got Paul Heyman in the mix too, and what a master manipulator he is.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna muck the whole situation up. Be like, hey, this or hey, that,
Yeah, and with Jimmy and Jay, it could be something like Brett and Owen back in the day.
Yeah,
that was like the first thing I just thought about. Because Brett and Owen were at odds there for a while, and then they ended up being back together. So it's like not a forever thing, but I think that brings an interesting dynamic. It really does.
It does.
Because
and I thought
Jay has a lot of clout with that.
And before the very end of that episode, I thought that that's what they were probably going to do for Money in the Bank, was just have the Uso brothers face each other for Money in the Bank and leave Roman not off the pay-per-view, but not be wrestling. But that's not going to happen, obviously, now because of what happened there at the very end. So
yes.
Interesting that it happened now.
You know me.
Yeah. Edge comes back out and attacks Roman, going for his one-on-one match that he was robbed of.
I love that they were talking about Edge versus Seth Rollins at first online, and I was like, dude, I'm all for that. I would love to see it. But Edge and Roman, oh yeah, that's money. I love
Edge
it.
Edge has
I don't want another triple threat.
Roman.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't want another triple threat.
Yet.
Yeah. I don't want another triple threat. I want to see Edge and Roman. I know Seth's complaining that he deserves it or whatever, and oops.
It'd be interesting.
Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. But
That's
yeah,
okay.
So, but now that I think about it, Seth has been in Roman's business as of late as well. So I don't, like I said, I don't want another triple threat. I really want to see Edge.
No, I don't really see Seth doing that, because Seth is still sort of involved with Cesaro a little bit, and I don't know.
I think Seth, they need to put Seth in Money in the Bank match just to have him take the focus off of Roman and Edge for a little bit, or take the focus off of him for a little bit.
Yes,
let him do something else. Yeah. Let Roman and Edge hash it out or whatever, and then have Seth, do whatever, because, Seth's a heel. Roman's a heel, which, they've done heel versus heel before, this WWE, but I think it'd be a case with them going back on the road. They cheer Roman over Seth. Like, dude, sit down. We all about the tribal chief.
Yeah.
Even though we couldn't stand him 5 years ago, he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yep. It's crazy how that just. Now, most of the people are on the Roman train. There are some who just blatantly refuse to acknowledge, and I say that word and it was ironic, but to acknowledge the fact and not just be that he is doing so much better. Like, open your eyes, get all them preconceived ideas, get all that, let go of that stupid grudge you have because he beat Daniel Bryan in 2015.
Oh my
Let it
God,
go.
yes.
Let it go, okay?
You know what? I think that's what started it. Was the whole thing with Daniel Bryan. Yes.
That is what started it. That's what I talked about in my article. We all owe Roman Reigns an apology.
Daniel Bryan even owes Roman Reigns an apology, and I think he did just that at WrestleMania this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had that follow-up match where he had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And Roman was like doing his treadmill video. You're going to show up and you're going to thank me. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah. You know, at first they were talking about was Roman and John at SummerSlam. And, hey, I like, you know, Roman and John at SummerSlam, I liked it. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. Now it seems, well, you know, John's in the middle of promoting Fast 9. So I guess I don't know if something just didn't work out or they're waiting or what. But you know, Edge and Roman, I'm all for it too. You know,
well, that's Money in the Edge is facing Roman at Money in the Bank, which is next.
Oh, month. I got you. Yeah,
SummerSlam is still, you know.
That's right. That's
still a possibility, and I know he said.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Some talk show that he doesn't know when he's coming back, but they always say that. So,
yeah, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here.
That's okay. We're ready to get back on the road. We're ready to see fans at wrestling at wrestling and see them go from town to town again.
Yes, I'm excited.
Everything we used to take for granted.
Yes. If the pandemic taught us anything, we can't live without pro wrestling. We really can't. I mean, some might disagree, but
there at the beginning of the pandemic, I was really in my own mind and stuff, and I couldn't look at anything that used to make me happy. Like wrestling, because it was so quiet and you could hear the bumps on the ring, and I was like, I hate this. This is horrible. I don't. And so after WrestleMania, I didn't watch it for quite a while, probably until about July. I think
for July, me, it brought me back to my indie wrestling days, just watching people wrestle in the ring while you're just sitting around. So for me, I think it was a different take, and you know, I could look past all that, even though it was weird. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was weird.
Yeah, but when you go to an indie show, there's still people there, and they're still cheering and booing and making all of that fan noise. And I don't know, the energy from the wrestlers when they hear all of that stuff and they're talking to people and they're, you know, having that connection. Yeah, I was like, there's no one for them to connect to, and you could tell how awkward and how horrible they felt about all of that stuff. And
because nobody was used to that. Nobody
never happened before.
Coming, and you know, you just had to roll with the punches. Yeah.
Well, and I commend all of them for continuing on, for pushing through all of that. And I think, you know,
just Sasha and
Bailey carried that whole company all last summer, and Roman Reigns carried it through the summer, the fall and winter up till now. And all of them fantastic job, and
They did.
thanks
They
for
really
keeping us
did.
entertained and keeping our mind off of all the bad stuff that was going on. So
Yeah, The Undertaker and AJ Styles at WrestleMania, that was like the first
yeah,
match that took my mind off of what was going on because
yeah. Well, at
being it was
WrestleMania,
taped and everything, I
yeah,
think having that whole different element, you're not worried about the pandemic because you don't
hmm
see the result of it in there.
right,
So it was nice just to not have to think about the
hmm
pandemic for
yeah,
about 30 minutes. And I think
yeah,
that's why I appreciated that match so much. And the cinematic matches were that was definitely something that worked in this time.
yeah, yeah. It
It,
sure did.
you don't have all these LED screens. You didn't have like the Thunderdome, and you didn't have like just quiet.
hmm
It was the purpose of a movie. It takes
Yeah,
you out of it, and that it was very well done, very
yeah.
well done. Excuse me. Not that Bray and Strowman, they did that too. I didn't see it, but I don't think it was as well received as AJ and the
I don't
Undertaker.
think so either. Now, Bray Wyatt and John Cena cinematic match at WrestleMania was pretty good. It was different. It was very, very different and creative, and I enjoyed it. That one
Hmm.
was good too.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think about the quiet. See, all the other matches, all I was hearing was
Well, you
all I
see
could
it
hear
too.
was the silence, and there was no one in the seats or anything because that was before they did the Thunderdome thing.
They were at the
And
Performance Center. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, it was tough,
they
but
just
yeah.
they learned as they went though, and they got better, and they figured out what worked, and did the
Mhm.
Thunderdome with all the screens, and as much as people complained about it, I was very thankful for the piped in crowd noise because
Right.
it
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't this is going to be a weird comparison, but I don't know if for anyone who sleeps with a fan on, even if it makes you cold, I turn it the other way. I can't sleep without that noise. That it eases
Yeah.
my mind. And so that fan noise, that background noise just eases your mind, and it helps you focus on what's going on in the ring for some reason. It does.
Mhm.
So, yeah, weird
Yeah.
comparison, but anyway, we got a little bit of news to cover, and then we are going to send you all off. It's we're going on an hour. We're talking all about
Before
Roman Reigns for an
yes,
hour. Yes,
before we do that, I'm still all for him and The Rock at WrestleMania. You talk
please.
about conflicted. That's gonna be me. What am I gonna do?
I'm just gonna be
I can't
happy
wait. That's
and be
gonna be
like,
so good.
I'm gonna be cheering for Roman, but at the same time, I
Yeah.
love The Rock, and I want to see The Rock in person one day, and because
Like,
I
don't
want to
let me be.
feel that. I haven't
Yes.
I've never been to a show that he was ever at. My parents didn't have a whole lot of money in the 90s and stuff, and they
Yeah.
couldn't take us. But
I
that's
was
okay.
grateful to see him when he came back a couple of times, with between CM Punk and John Cena. So I was grateful to see him a couple of times.
I
Um
was upset because there was one time I thought I was going to get to, because it was right after CM Punk dropped the title to The
yeah.
Rock at the Royal Rumble. And we were going
Yes.
to Monday Night Raw
Mhm.
in like February. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, he might be there because he's WWE champion. No.
He won. Yes, I was at
Oh,
that one
I was
too.
so mad. I was like, oh, you're
Yeah,
supposed to be here.
disappointment is an understatement in that case.
I mean, I got to see CM Punk that night, so I was still happy because he was my favorite at the time. But
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So news.
Yes, we have quite a few releases over the past week. I won't read all these names. I'll just read out the ones that stood out to me. Tony Nese, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, Killian Dane, Everrise, right? The Bollywood Boys.
Yeah.
And I can't remember anybody else, but those are the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. It was just random,
Yeah.
those random releases. Killian Dane was the biggest surprise for me. Everybody else, I wasn't surprised at all, unfortunately.
I was a
it's
little
never
bit
good
surprised.
when they're released.
I was a little bit surprised with Fandango and Tyler Breeze just because they hosted that greatest tag team thing on Peacock.
Oh,
But
okay.
And they were NXT Tag Team champions last year and things like that.
Yeah,
But,
they were.
What are you gonna do?
Tyler Breeze was one of those that got the NXT curse, unfortunately.
Yes, he did. That poor guy. And he was so talented with that character too. I remember the first time I saw him when I first started watching NXT, because I didn't watch for a long time. I didn't know too much about it, and there's stuff going on Wednesday nights and things like that at the time, so I didn't watch it. The first time I watched it was an NXT takeover. I was watching it with a friend of mine, and Tyler Breeze was facing Jushin Thunder Liger. That was a great match, and it was a lot of fun. And
that was like a huge opportunity for him, because that's like the only WWE match Jushin Thunder Liger was in.
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze got to be his opponent. Dude, I would have been pumped for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that made me a Tyler Breeze fan. So.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought that he got the opportunity on the main roster that he should have been able to get. Although the Fashion Files was really funny, and I hated they never got the tag titles or anything. That never came to anything, but they were really funny
when they
skits.
did. It's funny we mentioned this, because I remember when they had that match with the Usos.
Oh,
and
man,
they had the broom and mop and stuff, and I'm like, what are y'all doing to these guys? Seriously.
Yeah. That whole thing, some of the skits that they did about the Usos with the Day One ISH, they kept saying, "What is ISH?" I don't know. It was so funny.
Oh boy.
But we wish all of those guys, everyone that got released, we hope everything works out for them and that they find a happy place and are successful in everything that they do. So hopefully they will go on to better things for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes releases are like a blessing in disguise to some of them. So
sometimes. And you never know, some of them might go off and work on themselves and then come back. Sometimes that happens too, so never know. Well, Sarah, I think that's it for tonight. I think we talked about Roman Reigns quite a bit.
Yes, we did.
It was fun. We enjoyed it.
We acknowledge him.
Yes, we did.
We hope
everybody else enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Keep looking at our social medias, our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We put updates when we put new episodes up on there, and sometimes we just talk about stuff. Keep checking our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Please, we subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know when all of our videos come out. We have some interesting guests at the end of July. We won't quite say who yet, but we are very excited about what's coming up in the next couple months. So y'all stay tuned. And Sarah, you got anything to plug, or are we good?
I acknowledge Roman Reigns as my tribal chief since day one. Since day one. I'm not a bandwagoner. Not saying you are.
No.
Day one. Day one.
I think
I'm
I was
just
a
proud
closet
of,
Roman
I'm just
Reigns.
proud of them.
I think I was a closet Roman Reigns fan for a while. I came out of the closet.
Yep. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, guys. Until next time. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.